Hello, happy Friday, Incineration Nation. I am not at the Blue Balls building, which of course means that I'm in a much better mood. But actually, no, what it means is I'm going to go over, my channel is here to translate and protest hot garbage. So this is the translation part, okay? And today we're going to tackle New Era Dynetics, which is an absolutely completely insane course. It took me couple year and a half, 2 years to finish. I mean, the thing's it's hundreds and hundreds of pages. There's tapes galore. It's just awful. Hi, Blushy. Nice to see you. Hope your Friday is wonderful. And yeah, this is to my knowledge about the second biggest course on the bridge. And when you finish this, you do pretty much everything else over at the advanced organization, so this finishes up basically what you can do until you go to Advanced Organization Los Angeles, known as AOLA, or FLAG, or I guess Copenhagen. But anyway, it's a monster beast of a course, and you redo everything you've done up to this point darn near, but you also this is where you go, this is where you're auditing to go clear. Okay, most people have heard about going clear in Scientology. And that's supposed to mean that you're immune to disease. You have perfect recall. You never go bananas. You're always perfectly, on target, tame, whatever. You're doing things proper. And this is what Ron of LRH came out with before Scientology. So when the Dynetics scam started, there was no Scientology. A lot of people aren't aware of that. But yeah, there is Dynetics originally, it was just this book, right? The Modern Science of Mental Health. You buy this book, you read this ridiculously undecipherable book, and then you do you audit each other. So you ask each other questions, you take each other through this Dynetics process to alleviate what is keeping you insane. Okay. Hi, MT. Hi, Amy. Great to see you. And you were supposed to be able to audit each other just from the book, okay? 20 to, let's say, 100 hours, and then you have these superpowers. You're gonna be killing it. And when Dynetics went south, he had to come up with Scientology, and then he slowly but gradually but surely backed off some of the medical claims and sort of shifted that over to OT, moved the carrot a little bit, if you will. Yeah, he came out with Scientology, and then all of a sudden you have to do 2 years worth of training just to get to this stupid freaking course that costs you many thousands of dollars. And then it takes intensive after intensive. An intensive is a 12 and a half hour block of auditing, and that's how you're able to purchase processing in Scientology. So if you're like a trust fund baby who doesn't like to do the hard lifting, you can go up one side of the bridge, which is, the bridge is made up of two sides: training and processing. Processing just means you're the one holding the cans, right? And you're being asked the questions, so you can just, chillax and go through all these processes, which are going to turn you into an Avenger at some point. Hi, Saul. I love your police squirrel. That guy's awesome. Hi, Odelia. Hi, Hibernating. Hi, Brooke. Thank you so much for being here. So you can, if you're rich, just pay an incredible amount of money. Like, usually, this was way back in the day. It was, 10 grand, 12 grand for an intensive. Okay? So you might need 10 intensives. You might need 20. It takes as long as it takes. So they just keep sucking that dough from you. Now, if you go up the training side, or us brokies have to go, okay, then you try to get a twin on every course. That's someone who starts with you on the same course. You audit him, he audits you, whatever. So you don't have to pay to get the processing, right? You're doing it to each other, okay? Security squirrel. And I love it. So it was really difficult. Like, it's almost impossible to find a twin on a course that takes 2 damn years, right? Because people don't go at the same rate, okay? And as a child, it was really difficult for me because I can't understand the Dynetics book today. Okay, it's just complete gobbledygook. He spends half the time just talking about uncomfortable scenarios with women, and their sexual habits and stuff. It just reads like a weirdo wrote it. But anyway, so Dynetics, okay, in a nutshell, to make it super simple. It states that you have two minds. You have an analytical mind and a reactive mind. An analytical mind is one that you can actually recover memories yourself. Okay? So you can remember, the last time you went to Vegas, right? Or the last time you went to wine country or Disneyland. You can just pop that memory right up. Okay? You're in control of that. You can look at it whenever you please. The reactive mind is what you can't see, and it contains recordings of pain and misemotion, etc. So, like, an example Scientology uses about reactive mind, it records what's called an engram. And an engram is just that painful period that, like, okay, let's say you were in 3rd grade, okay, and you got hit by the baseball right in your melon, and it makes that sound, duck, and your reactive mind records everything, the temperature, all the sounds, okay? So, like, when the umpire goes, play ball, like, all of that, everything that happened during and around that immediate thing that happened to you that was painful, right? Getting hit in the head with the ball, gets recorded, but you can't go back and really look at it when you want to. It's just sort of hidden from you. But what occurs supposedly is, let's say now you're 35 years old and you go to a ballpark and you hear, and it's, close to 77 degrees like it was that day. And it was, partly cloudy. And you smelled hot dogs, you know, and you heard a guy say, play ball. All of a sudden you got this gnarly headache. What the hell, man? I feel awful. What's going on? I don't know. I just got this massive headache, man. I don't know. I got to get out of here. Okay, that's the reactive mind. That's the engram. Okay, and you're not in control of that. So what they're saying is, now imagine thousands of these kind of incidents, right? It's going to make it very, very difficult for you to enjoy your life because they're going to be occurring all the time. So you'll just out of nowhere get misemotional or whatever the hell. In other words, real life. They're just planting a whole bunch of BS on top of real life, right? Because remember, anything remotely misemotional is not okay in Scientology, all right? In Dynetics processing, what you're doing is you're trying to locate the earliest similar scenario to getting hit in the head with that ball. Okay? And basically, the way that he has this work is you'll go back to what's called the basic incident. And if you get back to the very first time that happened, it'll erase. They call it as-ising. Remember, there's a stupid name for absolutely everything. And it'll just cease to exist, okay? So you'll literally have no more problems when it's 77 degrees and someone screams, play ball, okay? And so you'll basically get control of your life back is sort of how they put it, okay? But to me, this whole thing damn near drove me insane because I had to make up absolutely everything. And it ain't easy, So, let me see what it says here. Have you ever heard of Timothy Leary's S-circuit model of consciousness? Hi, escaping. No, I haven't heard that. Hi, Jen. Hi, escaping. No, I'm just at a park I like. Hi, Gloria. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Nunya Business. I love that. Okay, so just want to make sure. I'm going to try to look here and see if there's some questions that are along with what I would love you guys to be able to ask something while I'm going, so I don't miss a whole bunch of stuff, But I'll try to keep an eye out on that. Okay, so this processing is the most tedious thing I've ever been a part of. And whether the person I was auditing was making it up or not, I just knew it was just this horrendous waste of time. I just knew it. And part of the reason I knew that is I knew a lot of clears, okay? I knew a lot of clear people supposedly attained the level of clear. And they were just as insane as anyone else. They got sick every other day and couldn't remember shit. Okay? So I was very... let's just say I wasn't buying what they were pushing here too much at this point. But, I had to do it. And they actually, a lot of the, without going onto your whole track, which is, because don't forget in Scientology, you're supposed to be around, 72 trillion years or whatever the hell the arbitrary number is. And you've been everything, done everything, you've been anything you could ever be, you've already been. So you're not doing whole track stuff necessarily. That's not what you're doing here. You're doing this lifetime. And and many things supposedly come down. If you read Dianetics, it goes on, it just drones on and on about all the way when you were like a zygote, okay, you know, from a sperm to, you know, the egg to the zygote to the, what, you know, and that's why they have such a big thing about silent births in Scientology, because your reactive mind is recording all that stuff. And another issue is when someone's pregnant and then has sex, like, you know, I hate to have to go into this like this, guys, but, you know, if you want to know how this works, this is how it works. So, like, even if the man's penis was somehow hitting the baby, like, even in the tiniest bit, or his weight on top of it, or whatever, could create pain or discomfort to a degree where things, again, would be recorded, like, you know, it could be things that are said during sex, right? You could imagine what those could be. and so you got to go back all the way to that. And that just made me feel like this is just, because like I said, I was making everything up. I mean, this is just complete madness. Thanks, degraded daughter. That's awesome. And Fluffer Squirrel, you are amazing. Thank you for being here. Everyone go to sptv.space, by the way. Something Fluffer Squirrel did that's just incredible. So you have to audit. You have to get to the earliest similar incident to make that entire chain of incidents disappear. You know, and it might be something as ludicrous as, you know, someone screaming, you know, "I'm coming," and then they're like, that was recorded, and so now, you know, that can affect you. I mean, it's literally this ridiculous, okay? And so you have to go, you know, to an earlier similar to erase that incident. And you know, like, if let's try this, okay, with something innocuous. Let's try this, okay? When is the last time you had vegetable soup? Okay, think of the last time you ate vegetable soup. Okay? Or chicken noodle soup. Okay? You can probably remember the last time. You know, it might have been 6 months ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever. But you could probably get close to it. You know, yeah, that was around Christmas or whatever. And, you know, now, if I said, fantastic, right? You know, tell me what happened, and you tell me, and you talk about it, you know, what occurred. And then I ask you for an earlier similar incident. And I keep doing that. If you're like me, you're going to go, probably like, you know, 3-4 months before that, I had some soup, vegetable soup. Okay, and we go through that. Wow, okay, now, an earlier similar incident. Well, I was at a restaurant a couple years ago, and I had some soup, vegetable soup. And you keep, but it doesn't take long, if you see where I'm trying to get here, before you're just pulling stuff out of your backside. I mean, but see, the problem is, as an auditor, especially when you're co-auditing, I already know what's going on. I understand how this process works and what the end phenomenon I'm supposed to achieve. So it's sort of like a cheat code to get done and out and through it. Where if you just came from a rich family, like a lot of celebs, you know, and just bought the processing and didn't do any of the auditing, you don't know how the process works, okay? So that would, you know, but you can see with that example I'm giving you, and of course it's not a proper example because there's no pain involved in that, right? And it's, you know, those are analytical thoughts you're supposed to be able to remember. So, you get help. Supposedly, the help I'm giving you as an auditor, while you're holding the cans, is I say, give me find an earlier similar incident to that, right? And then I can see when the e-meter reacts, okay, and the needle moves, and I would say that, okay, that, and to try to help you locate that thought, right? That. And you're like, yeah, I was at my cousin's house. I had the soup. But you can see it doesn't take long before you're just like, and imagine if you're a kid. I mean, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember anything as a kid. I didn't pay attention to, crap like that. And I didn't have a lot of like painful BS and all that, but I knew what I would have to say and how far I would have to go, and then how my indicators would have to be. That's in Scientology world. Your indicators show if you're like if you're real, if this is happening for real, you'll have VGIs, which is very good indicators. In other words, you're smiling, laughing, whatever. Okay, like if you really got to the source and the thing ceased to exist, right? This pain and discomfort, you would be happy. You wouldn't be pissed. You'd be happy. And so I knew how to scam my way through it. Okay, but it was so tedious, because this is not a short process. This is just tons and tons of auditing. Okay, absolutely miserable. And so I'm getting nothing out of this crap. But I knew, like I said, how I was supposed to feign everything. And if you get through all of this, where there are no more painful incidents, right? Incredibly painful, misemotional incidents for you to cover, and get to the earliest similar incident. Then you're gonna, I guess, at some point along this line, you're gonna say the clear cognition. Okay. Which would be, I made up my reactive mind. I mocked up, that's what they call it, which just means you made it up. I mocked up my reactive mind, and I'm not going to do it anymore. What a load. Oh. So you're going to see, like now you're clear. Now they have a clear certainty rundown where they ask you more questions and try to make sure that really did happen and whatever. But if you know. So anyway, once again, you're saying this stuff was super effective and fantastic and yada yada, when it's doing literally nothing. Maybe you're getting some stuff off your chest here and there. I don't know that a half hour with a psychologist couldn't give you as many wins as 200 hours of Dynetics. I guess if there's anything remotely comforting about it, it's like the one time where you don't feel like they're not really stressing that you're responsible for everything that ever happened to you. You know what I mean? Yeah, Amy is the process is like getting blood from a stone. Totally. I don't even have a word I can readily think of that would describe the disdain I had for this project. And by the way, imagine after like a year and a half of just full-time study, 8 hours a day, for me to even get to that point. Okay. I mean, it was absolutely awful. And reading Dianetics was the hardest thing I ever did. If I wasn't fast flow, for those of you who didn't watch my earlier streams where I'm translating this BS, fast flow is when you finish the student hat and the M1 co-audit course. You now no longer need to be checked out on starred items on your check sheet. When you do a course in Scientology, it comes with a check sheet. These are the things you do in this order. And if it has a star, you need the supervisor to come check you out. And a checkout means they're going to ask you definitions of words. And if you hesitate or flub or don't give or use synonyms instead of saying what it really means, right? Or if you have trouble using it in a sentence, they could flunk you, and now you gotta go. You look up every definition, make sure there's no words in the definition you don't know. Okay, you get in a word chain, and just a bunch of crap, and then you gotta, So anyway, the fact that I was fast flow is the only reason I got through. It means I didn't need checkouts, okay? I could just say I'm good. And that allowed me to get through Dianetics. Because that book, I would love to know what you guys say. Has anyone here read Dianetics? I'm just curious. I would love to know if you had trouble with that book. I mean, besides the fact that it's complete nonsense and written like an idiot wrote it, but I'm saying, did you have any trouble reading it? I'd love to know. But imagine reading that as a 10-year-old. It's just ridiculous. And I had a hell of a vocabulary from going through all the training up to that point. Plus, I read 30 comics a month, and that were, adult, like Thor and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, those weren't intended for, those were intended for teenagers and adults, not really for little kids, Curious Wendy. Oh, Fluffer, you couldn't read it? Yeah, okay. It's brutal. I mean, if you ever need to get some sleep, I'm not even joking. Just open up any page you want, and if you can get through a page and a half of that crap without a ferocious yawn, you're amazing. Okay. So, imagine doing a course that takes forever, that has, like I said, hundreds and hundreds of pages of shit you gotta study, and then your TRs you gotta go over again, we sold that book at the store I worked at in the 80s. My boss tried to read it. He said, Hubbard is crackers. Oh, that makes me feel good. Yeah, I couldn't understand. With a dictionary right at my side, boy, I'm falling asleep. Oh, my God. He would find a way to make anything more boring than you could ever hope for. Hey, Dougie. And, stunning boredom. Yeah, so you, I'm trying to convey the amazing disappointment that I had on that course and on that that processing. Okay, yet that's not 1/50th the disappointment that you would endure on the OT levels. I mean, can you imagine? And again, you can't say anything in Scientology. You can't say something as simple as, well, how come this guy's clear and he's got a cold? Because they would say, well, he's obviously PTS. So, wait, what are you saying? So, is he all-powerful or not? This OT8 controls matter, energy, space, and time. But some jerk-off, but he's PTS? to some dude who doesn't like Scientology? Huh? Now all of a sudden he ain't all powerful? Sounds to me like the SP is the all powerful one. You know? All I gotta do is say hi to you and not like Scientology, and now you're sick. That's all I gotta do to 86 Magneto. But you can't say that. You can't say how come this guy's sick and he's clear, you know? Or hey, what did you did you ever do such and such? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. What do you mean you can't remember? You're supposed to have perfect recall. Okay? Oh, Mersey, great point. Yeah, if you do that much studying in college, oh my God, yeah. Yeah, going up the bridge in Scientology is probably equivalent to a PhD. I would say that's very, very close. PhD to a professorship, right in there. Only difference is there's not a single thing usable. So you can't say that, or you would instantly be, in ethics. And the person who's sick is PTS to a suppressive person. They're a potential trouble source to a suppressive person, and they just haven't identified that person. Okay. This is, I was already disenfranchised, to say the least, before I got to the New Era Dynetics course. But this year and a half, 2 years, just destroyed me. And then that processing was so incredibly difficult, because I was literally BSing my way through the entire thing. Every word that came out of my mouth was just some bullshit, because I didn't have any experiences. Like, I fell on my head one time. I was like the only thing. I remember I was sprinting in like 3rd grade, on the asphalt, and I tripped and landed on my face, right? And so, that was about it. Oh yeah, I remember another one. I grew up in San Francisco till the age of like 7, or right before I turned 7, and I don't know if you guys remember Big Wheels, but those just came out like in '72. I got one for Christmas, and we lived on a street that the very next street where my babysitter was super steep, right? And I would take, and the pedals are connected to the front wheel. So there was no way to stop. So I had to just smash into my babysitter's hedges in her driveway not to get killed. And so I would do that repeatedly. It was fun. But these are the kind of things I had to think of. Like, painful incidents and stuff, right? So, I was just making shit up left and right, and but I knew what I had to do and when I had to do it in order to get through it. But if you can imagine studying harder and longer, basically I put in like the same amount of time on the NED course as I did every previous cycle I had ever done. Damn near. Okay? Probably 75% of the time. To do that it took me to do everything else that I had ever done. So you put that kind of time in, and once again get absolutely nothing in return. Okay? Brutal. So this answers the question for everyone who says, why did you, I was absolutely unwilling to go through any more of that kind of work, okay, to attain absolutely nothing. So, that's what it boiled down to. the fried up, the fried up minded professor. All right, Amy had a big wheel. That's fantastic. Hi, Lorraine. Great to see you. So yeah, I was absolutely unwilling to put that kind of time in anything else again. There are times on that course, like I knew 2 or 3 people that actually bailed because of that course. I mean, they eventually came back, but I'm talking about people who just see you. You know, they just dipped and you never heard from them, you know, for 6 months. That's how brutal that was for adults. And I'm one of the few people I know that did that course. On the bridge, it was before the levels, which I'll talk to you guys about next. The levels came after the new aerodynamics course on the bridge, and then they swapped it. Then they put the levels first before that course. And but that was because no one was getting anywhere. You know, people were just literally stuck on that Ned course. So that's basically it's really difficult to get in that course. There's I mean, just imagine tons and tons of tapes that drone on. I mean, if you think you're going to fall asleep reading Dynetics, imagine having, you know, Hubbard read it to you. And just non-stop drills. And oh yeah, another thing that's important to mention is at this point you are, by the time you're on this course, you are mind controlled to the bone. To the bone, through and through. Like I said, it couldn't hold me quite as well as it could people who had a bunch of issues when they got there, you know. But you've done all these drills for hundreds and hundreds of hours that allow you to treat, you know, people like shit, to ignore yourself. You know, just crazy. To make people do things they don't want to do, and to make yourself do things you don't want to do, etc. I mean, and you know now that you can never say anything. You can't say I didn't get that gain because you just go to ethics. And now you're going to have to get rid of another person that you like. You're going to have to cut out of your life. So you never want to, you know, you never want to be sick. You never want to tell anyone you're not getting these gains. And the course takes forever. So you're obviously unhappy. So it gets very difficult to act like you are happy. Yeah, so it's like it was mental constriction. You know, it just gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse and a little bit worse every time you exhale. And it really is. It's a tough. Every day was miserable. But I guess I could say there's a silver lining to it, because I just knew that you get nothing out of these processes. I knew that. You know, that was quite obvious. You know, you get absolutely nothing out of these things. But then again, that was pretty scary too, because my mom and my sister were, you know, far past that, and you know, I'm like, holy shit, am I supposed to keep doing this? that was rough. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep this one simple, because it'd be so easy to make this not only indigestible but unpalatable. If I there'll be too many things. This thing will take 4 hours. So I'm trying to keep it like those are the parameters of the course, and this is how you go clear. Okay, is by getting to all these earliest incidents in your reactive mind, right? Which, as you can see from the clear cognition, doesn't mean shit anyway, because you eventually just say, I mocked up my reactive mind and I'm not going to do it anymore, and now you're clear. Well, if you mocked it up, why do we have to go through all these incidents and get to the beginning? I thought we had to get to the beginning of these things so they would disappear. You see how that doesn't make any fucking sense? But then I mocked up my reactive mind and I'm not going to do it anymore? The fuck are you talking about? Why did I have to go back to the beginning? Well, I shot out of my dad's prick, and then I blah, blah, blah. Why did we have to go through all this? If I mocked it up. I mean, I can revisit these things every 10 years and they still make no sense. Like you know what I mean? They never make any more sense than they did the first time I went over them. And that's how you go clear, okay? So you can just pay for the auditing and just sit in the chair and go through that bullshit, or you can, also do it to someone else and have it done to you. And Hubbard said that you get at least 50% of your gains from the training side of the bridge. So you're really losing out if you don't do the training. And that's sort of what closed me when I was still a believer 3 years earlier or whatever, that this works or could work. And maybe people were having trouble who just went up the auditing side, because over half, at least half. So over half of your gains, you're not even getting if you're not training. Okay, so I was training. I did it. So I'm getting 50% more gains than the people just cruising up the auditing side, and I have a grand total of 0 gains. So I had no interest in even attempting to go clear. None. I don't even think I could have attested to clear. Like, that would have been the end of me. I was able to attest to a lot of bullshit, but that would have been a real tough one to attest to. And, Ron even admonished clears to say you need to act accordingly when you are clear. Why would you have to tell someone that? Why wouldn't they just act that way anyway? You gotta be kidding me. So that, and the fact that I see clears that are sick every day, don't know shit, and they're completely confused, have no communication cycle. I mean, just a mess of a person coming unglued at the drop of a hat, and you're clear. I see the clear bracelet on you. Fuck out of here. So, but again, you can't say any of those things. And I only, as a kid, things are so much more black and white. Like, and I wasn't paying for those courses, right? I didn't have to go paint houses or whatever and then give that money to a registrar to get on course. Because that's part of the mind control too. Believe me, if you're paying for a bunch of crap, if a fortune teller tells you your fortune and doesn't charge you anything, you're not gonna, it's not gonna mean as much to you as if I take you to the fortune teller, who, if you're lucky enough, because I know him or her, I'll be able to get you in. You'll skip the normal 1.5 year wait time, Okay, I'll get you in this Thursday, but it's going to cost you $700 for 10 minutes. And that's the homie price, okay? You're going to really hold on to that bullshit that you're about to hear. It's going to mean something to you because you put in a lot of time and effort to get that money to give to that person. Now imagine you take this up to tens of thousands, to $100,000. Okay, just to get to clear. And all the time behind it and effort behind it, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days that you spent studying bullshit. Do you see how you want to believe? Believe me, you want to believe. Hi, Germany. Lost cost fallacy. That's beautiful. I don't even know if I've heard that before, but I love that. Thanks, Dreamscape. I'm going to use that. Lost cost fallacy. Kick ass. Yeah, so I didn't have those traps, right? Because I didn't pay for it. And a kid just sees much more black and white, you know? I'm just like, I can hold it, touch it, feel it, you know, see it, whatever. Cool. But part of their own training hurt them, in my eyes, because they train you to look and not listen. You need to look and not listen if you want to know what's going on. Well, that effed everything up. Because I can look and see this is all bullshit. Okay? And if you couple that with being in serious trouble, if you say anything, and don't forget, ethics ain't free, okay? When they send you to go have a miserable time, you're paying for that. That ain't free, you're paying. You're dipping, you know, go right back to your wallet, take a huge chunk of money, give it to the ethics officer so they can make you do a whole bunch of horrible shit. What they call, you know, going through conditions. They're going to assign you a condition and you're going to work your way up and out of it into the next highest condition. Then you're going to work your way up and through and out of that to the next highest until you get back to normal. So you get to spend a bunch of money, be absolutely miserable, probably have to disconnect from another friend or two, okay? And also you can get back to doing something that gets you a grand total of 0 gains, okay? So, that really wasn't the carrot anymore, though, because in my estimation, people were much more concerned, you know, with going OT. Like, that was the big carrot, you know, when I was in. I think they already sort of shit on going clear quite a bit in comparison. They done shit on it, but it just wasn't the big to do like it used to be, you know, in the 60s or, you know, early 70s or anywhere through the 70s. It was just a bigger deal, okay? And then, you know, but now it was the OT levels. This is where you know, this is what it's all about. But then, of course, all the same questions applied then, too. How come this guy's, you know, OT3 and he's sick? My mom, OT3, sick all the time. My sister, OT7, sick all the time. What the fuck is this about, you know? But you can't say that. So I hope, my intention behind this translating, by the way, is I hope you can see just how delicate and well arranged the mind control is. Okay, that allows very smart people to get stuck in it. And yes, you're looking at it a completely different way as a never in than you would as someone who put money down, because again, you're hoping this shit works, you know. So you're always going to see it a bit different if you're on that side of the fence. Okay? I'm going to move over here into the shade. It's hotter than hell. Ooh, the sun was starting to rock on me there. Oh, great question, Jen. If it's true for you means what? That is one of the biggest scams that allows you to get caught in this web to begin with. Because they tell you when you first get into Scientology, there's nothing to worry about. You could be any persuasion, any orientation, any religion, and don't worry about it when you read something, from LRH. If it isn't true for you, it isn't true. Nothing could be further from the truth. Always remember, anything they tell you, the exact opposite is the truth. Okay? It's like how modern day media news works. Whatever they say, just make it the exact opposite, and you're probably a hell of a lot closer to whatever the truth is. Okay? That's how Scientology is every single day. And then you find out that you have to, in fact, do everything to the syllable that LRH says you need to do. And if you still don't get the gains, it's again because you are committing harmful acts. Okay? Overt is a harmful act of omission or commission. So you didn't do something you damn well should have, or you did something you know damn well you shouldn't have. That's why you're not getting these gains. Okay? And it's so insidious that my father even told my mother a month before he died, and just a few months before she died, that she wouldn't have even had that cancer. Of course, he had cancer too. And my sister, but he didn't tell us to my sister, he told us to my mom, that she wouldn't have this cancer if she was in ethics. Okay, because he wasn't OT, she was. So she didn't have to have this cancer. Can you imagine telling somebody that shit? Okay? And I don't even think he was trying to be an asshole. I think you just become one. Okay? And again, the only people who staunchly defend Scientology are normally those who have done the least amount of training. Whether they're in the Sea Org or staff or public, whoever does the least amount of training is the one staunchly defending it. That was a great one. Glad you brought that up, Jen. And oh yeah, it's so brutal. I only saw my mom break a couple times, and when she told me that, it broke her heart. But that's how insidious the church is. And that's why, I'm taking my time to do this. And it's really important for people if you want to, people have to know this. And I know 99% of people aren't going to take the time that you guys in this room are taking, or those in the replay crew, people who are going to eventually see this are taking. But it almost has to happen in order to get rid of, you're just a dummy if if you fell for this. If you fall for this, you fall for anything, blah, blah, blah. You know, they deserve what they get for being idiots, or, you know, that kind of thought, right? You know, so when you see how this works, it'll become real to you, and you'll see that it's very well put together, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of time, and they're very patient. You know, it absolutely takes a year or two to get completely stuck on this flypaper. And even then, you don't necessarily think you're stuck. You think it's out of your own volition. You know, it's really, but this is how deep it goes into your psyche. You know, Kirstie Alley's OT8. Amy, Eric, so your father pushed your mom into, well, I mean, you know, my dad was probably a nice guy back then. You know, he wasn't he wasn't ruined yet. and I always give him credit for trying to, you know, I know, you know, he was trying to make things better, and he thought he stumbled upon something that could really support him and his family and you know, make our lives good. I mean, the intention at the beginning was good. You know, healthy body, healthy mind, all that kind of thing. I get it. But this shit is truly insidious, and you have to like, I had doubts that just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it got more and more obvious this was a trap, you know. But it, you know, you still don't do anything about it, because, like I said, you're scared to death that you're gonna lose your family. And that's the other part. Once, after a year or two has gone by, you've gotten rid of everyone who has your back. Thank you, Fluffer. Hi, Linda. I want people to know, if you understand what I've gone through right up to this point, you'll be able to see how all these great people, you know, fell in this trap, and how there's still people like, you know, Laura's out but her father's in, you know, this kind of thing, you know. How my sister and mom, you know, knew it was bullshit, but my dad, you know, was still gung-ho. It just ruins your family. There's no recovering from this. So you get in, you know, everyone who ever had your back is gone. All you have left, you know, and you can almost see it in people like Tampa Brad, you know, like, another year he won't know anyone who's not in that cult. Have I been introduced to Liz Ferris? I haven't met her in person. I don't know. Treasure Rescue. Do people on the inside that have doubts ever discuss that with each other? Or did you see others roll their eyes or something? No, you can't do that. You'd be in ethics so fast, you would get written up the second you did that. And it's called a knowledge report. In Scientology, they call it a KR. Because, of course, you can't just say what the fuck something is. So it's a KR. It's a knowledge report. So I would say I saw Treasure in the academy last night, yawning and rolling her eyes, and I'm quite certain she talked to Ted about, you know, this being bogus at break time, you know, and then you're in a world of shit. Nora pointing out, Jen Sell said, Nora pointing out they got over on someone as brilliant as Madeleine Albright was a lot of weird forgiveness energy for other scams I've fallen for. No, I'm pointing out they got over on someone. Yeah, it's clever. It's clever, and like Amy says, there's an enormous amount of coercion. And everyone's acting, like I said, you can't, when you're in the asylum, even if you know it's an asylum and you know you're not crazy, at least 80-90% of the time, you're not going to be thinking that thought. You're just going to be acting crazy with crazy people. Treasure, I'd be... Oh my God, I'm such an eye roller. I'd be in trouble. That's great. Yeah, you'd be busted. Hi, Ocean Waves. Thanks for stopping by. Cinderella. Treasure, me too. I could have died. Yeah, or kicked out. It's not as hard as you think to keep going, though. Like I said, part of me believes that this was just some kind of incredible experiment to see if this kind of mind control could be, if you could be this effective without having to induce, without actually delivering massive pain, okay, like physical pain. They use everything else, the fear and anxiety is always on 10, but and fear of loss and everything else is always at 10. Your whole mental state is DEFCON 5 at all times, but they figured out a way to do this mind control without hitting you over the head with a pipe or having a dog attack you, or you having to witness things that are just impossible to deal with, and without the physicality, there's, like I said, they still were able to produce all these different, what they call valences, these different personalities that you use, and I don't know, it would make sense to me, because again, L. Ron Hubbard was good at nothing. Okay, he wasn't a Blackfoot or whatever that fuck. He didn't join any Indian nothing at 6 or 7, all bunch of shit. He wasn't the youngest fucking Girl Scout or whatever he says he is. Every last thing they've ever said is bullshit. And he was bad at everything. He wasn't even mediocre. He was bad. He was shitty at everything. He said he was a nuclear physicist. He got like a D- in one semester and then got the boot, in college. I mean, he did nothing. He understood nothing. That's why and then before even Dynetics, like I said, Google up Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, and Aleister Crowley. Okay, and what those idiots were doing. And Ron was just a simple douchebag thief. He grabbed Jack's girlfriend and stole all his money, and he was just a grifter piece of shit. He always hid behind, the most prolific writer. What the fuck does that mean? No one ever said he was good. He wrote more than anyone. That means nothing. He wrote more garbage than anybody. Who cares? So, he failed in the Navy. He was totally incompetent. He couldn't even work out some black magic. Nothing that he attempted ever worked, right? So I just believe he had a hell of a lot of help, and I think there was a lot of hidden hands in this entire thing that I'll never know about. But I just think he was far too incompetent to have gotten as far as he did. That's my opinion. Um, you know, I mean, he's sort of like, I think he had the power, you know, of a used car salesman. You know, he could have had a small little lot on the corner or something and probably did okay. But that's about all the credit I can give the guy. You know, I've listened to hundreds of hours of his bullshit, and you know, I don't think I ever accidentally came across something I thought was clever. I mean, the things that were remotely true, he stole from other stuff anyhow. So, the things that can be chalked up solely to him are inapplicable and unusable. So, but yeah, it's really, if you understand how clever, poignant, and brutal this whole thing is, this whole design, your first couple years in the church, and how at perfect timing, they keep taking away your ability to fight out of this thing. Like, they take away their own responsibility, and it's really clever. But if you understood that, I think it would be much easier to see that the people that are stuck in there are good people. Okay? And I understand if I was never in, I'd just be pointing at everybody, screaming and shouting, and believe me, I like to do it anyway, because there's still a 20% chance whoever I'm screaming at deserves it. All right? But I really believe in my heart that 80% of the people in there are really wonderful people. They're no different than me and Laura and Serge or anyone else you like. You know, Aaron, Natalie, that's who we're saving here. And if I didn't feel that way, I would have no part of this. If I didn't think that was the case, I would just go, just desserts, dude. You know? What do I give a shit you're in there? Why would I care if you're mistreated if I think you're a piece of shit, you know, child trafficking asshole? Why would I care? You know, I hope you stay in there. I give a shit. You know, so, and I think the hardcore approach where you just swing for the fences is wonderful in keeping new people from getting in. You know, believe me, it would have worked perfect for me if, like, let's say I was talking to somebody and they were like, "Hey, what do you think about the personality test?" Blah blah, and someone came out of the blues swinging from a vine saying, you know, child trafficker, and, you know, una secta, and fucking, you know, it's a cult, and, you know, my kid, I can't get him out, and they stole my mom's passport. I'd be like, fuck this. There's no way I'd get involved. So I think it's wonderful. Okay? I would have no issue with that for new people. But, you know, I don't think anyone listening to this would run to somebody who was screaming at them awful stuff. Okay? That just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, lawsuits can help, but we've been waiting 50 years. Everyone's always saying, I can't remember a time where people didn't say, you know, they're just a lawsuit away from going under. Well, when you have this kind of money, we know the system's rigged, okay? You know, you got enough money, you can keep a con going for quite some time. And I'm sure they got a ton of agencies, you know, on the payroll. You see what they do to, you know, local police departments. You don't think they're doing that at the federal level? You know, I'm sure they're greasing palms everywhere, okay? But they're not going to run out of money. That's just, to me, that's insanity to even think of that. They have too much money. What their holdings have gone up 50 times, since they first had them. What is that blue building complex? What the hell do you think that costs today? That's one of the biggest parcels of land in Los Angeles. I don't know of but about 3 parcels that even exist like that, where it's all 4 sides, of a block, a long ass block, and all of that. That's, oh my God. And what they paid for this stuff versus what it costs now? Shit. They're only cash poor because you have to be tax exempt. You can't sit on a bunch of cash. So if they get a $50 million influx, they got to go buy a building to keep that exemption. And then with this Ideal Org scam the last 30 years, now they have just so much prime real estate. What it would cost is just insanity. And so I just don't think they're running out of dough. Hi, baby. Is that a beagle?
Well, look at this. Your living room. You have your chair, you have your camera, you have your latte.
I know how to do it.
Gosh, he's 3 years old.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so they're not going to run out of money. So forget about that. The only way that I can see, and feel free to tell me something else because I don't understand any other way of doing this. The only way this place falls is if the staff leaves. And like you already saw, it was almost impossible for them to get that Austin org opened. What was it, 1.5 years, 2 years late? And even then they had to steal people from everywhere just to staff it? And they're getting no new people? So those people are going to leave soon enough? They can't do any recruiting, so no new people are coming in. And recruiting was horrible when we weren't even around. So I think getting the staff out of there is the only thing that crumbles the place, because then you can't even keep the real estate scam going. You can't say these are all churches when there's no one in any of them and they're all boarded up. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, good baby. Having fun? That's so cute. What a great dog. Big smile on his face. Yeah, so and to me it's just like you take the tiniest prick in an aerosol can and it's over. And that's what I think we're looking at here. Okay, let's see. But if we can get the staff out, then they can't even keep the places open. You can't keep this scam going if all your places are shuttered. Okay? And I really don't care if they end up with $17 billion worth of holdings, as long as there's not one person there who doesn't want to be there. Okay? And they're not crushing children or the elderly. Like I said, Joe Blow, 25-year-old, 35-year-old public, wants to yell at ashtrays or argue with the wall. I don't give a shit. Go right ahead. But if you want to, hi Clearwater Erie, if you want to close this place down, which is what I want to do, you got to get rid of the staff. And I don't know how we do that if we're screaming and yelling at them like fucking maniacs. Oh, of course. But I think the IRS is on the payroll, Linda. Linda says if the IRS would take the tax exemption away, that would be a game changer. I agree with you 100%. They'd be finished. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think you just write a real nice fat check to, 6 or 7 people and you don't have a problem. Believe me, I hope I'm wrong. And if you guys just knew how miserable and how hopeless and void of joy, okay, that those places are, you would realize that those one or two people that you can confide in, okay, when you're in the Sea Org or on staff, you know, the one or two people you might find after a few years that you could actually confide in. This is how I was relating it to DOA. I was like, let's say, you know, it's Lara, Serge, me, DOA, Selfless Self, you know, in one of those rooms, right? At the Blue Ball building. You know, and your best friend is DOA. I mean, he's literally, that's just his beingness, his smile, you know, his space just makes your day better. He's gone. That's like the tiniest amount of hope and ray of sunshine that you had. You know, it makes a huge difference. That's gone, and he leaves a little matchbook that says, you know, I love you, I dipped, I had to go, you know, I'm out. You know, SPTV. You would be like, I'm out of here. I don't think it's going to take much. It might be very difficult to do only because it's so scary. And don't forget, these guys don't have any, they got one shot only, okay? And don't tell me you would take that shot with SPTV Foundation unless you absolutely believed that it was going to work and they were going to help you, okay? You would have to be absolutely confident at the same time as you were absolutely fed up. I mean, that's a serious crescendo you have to get to leave with 11 cents and no idea what to do. That is not an easy decision, okay? I mean, the variety of approaches has to be, because you can't ask someone to do something they don't feel is right. So everyone should always do do it the way they feel. I'm just telling you from someone who's been in, and I think, you know, for a long time. And I think, you know, I understand the mindset. And I know there's no chance in hell I would leave unless I was 100% comfortable that, you know, it was going to work. I was going to get taken care of, you know, put on the right path. And like I said, if you're pointing at me and screaming, you know, child trafficker, why would I come to you? Answer that, anybody. You can't answer that. It's impossible. You would never do it. Ever. And that's my point. So, you know, the money ain't going to run out. I'm sorry. That's impossible. They could pay everyone off they need to pay off, $10 million apiece. They'd still have $6 billion. There's no way they're going to run out of money. What MD wrote in front of AO yesterday was so perfect. So perfect. You know, it's... He wrote, and it's funny because I never thought of it. Which just shows you this is why it does take everybody. But he actually wrote the words, you know, will help you, you know, with a place to live, a job, you know, food, okay? Because I kept thinking about the escape thing, but who cares if you get, if you, I escaped to, one town over, and now I'm living under the overpass, of the freeway. What the hell, right? So I wasn't even doing it the way that I needed to do it. I want everyone to help everybody who is trying to fuck Scientology up. That's what I want. I'm just telling you that if you're on, because we're not all on the same page. Someone was a genius and pointed that out on one of my lives. I can't remember who, so I can't give that person the credit. But someone pointed out quite geniusly that people have different end games. Like, William Good, he's as good as I've ever seen anyone be at keeping people from going in. He's got this down perfect. And that's, that's what he wants to do. And that's great. I'm super happy about it. I want to shut the place down. So I have a different, long-term idea here. And, and I know we have to get the public on our side too, and it probably all boils down to, like I say, I've never found a stronger emotion, a stronger pulse or pull than love. People get behind that quickly. Okay? Just simple love. That's why you can look, at a 6-year-old. Doesn't matter where they're from. Could have a tear in her eye, and you're not going to do another damn thing till you figure out how to support that kid. Everything comes to a full stop. While aggression is wonderful, it also creates an environment that, it's not really conducive to healing, right? It's not really conducive to change. It's conducive to chaos. I would love to see La Poubelle shut down. Who wouldn't? But you can see what that direct fire approach brings you. It makes sure that a lot of people are not even on your side. And they would be if they understood it, but they won't even listen long enough to, they're just going to start saying, you guys are psychopaths, you're always screaming, and it's intimidating, and, all that shit. And people hate that. Not that it doesn't have its place, but it just creates a whole different effect. If you want to get the public behind you, we have everything we need. Okay? We have the voices of the people, who suffered. And I'm one of them. We have the voices. The child abuse is real. It's insidious. It's dark as it gets. It is a daily horror show, mentally. It does irreparable harm to families. So we have the truth behind us. And the same way as this community rallies around, putting a stop to that, we got to take advantage of that. And if half the people that see us think we're just rabble-rousing assholes, that's not going to work. You know, people have to, in my opinion, know we're safe. Know we can be counted on before they're going to come to us. And ask yourself that. I don't believe one person would say anything different. Oh, Scientology is racist as hell, of course. 99.9% of people in Scientology are white. And and they only want well-to-do people, okay? Thank you, Jen. Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, I mean, I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. Like, I want people to get involved any way they want to, because they're only going to do it if they feel they can do what they please, right? So I want anyone to do what they want. But if you want to close the church down, if you want to shut them down, you got to get the staff out of there. And believe me, they're not happy. They're just as unhappy as everyone who ever left was. And now much more so, I would imagine. Because things have never been as bad as they are today for them. So I think if we can just tap into that, it'll take care of itself. Again, they have just, it's a control mechanism and it's money. Okay? They literally have nothing. They're down to, you know, faking modeling stuff to get Latinos in North Hollywood. I mean, they can't do anything straight up anymore. Everything is covert as hell. They used to be overt as hell. Now they're covert as hell. And, you know, they can't just preach anymore, you know? And it's because of people like Kirstie Alley who are OT8 and die of cancer. That's not supposed to happen. Well, you're supposed to be able to totally T4K tout. Have you ever heard of the Monroe Institute? Do they do any stuff like that in Scientology? Out-of-body meditation? Yeah, you're supposed to. Okay, you are what they say that you are a thetan. Like, in other words, are you your body? Pinch your arm. Are you your arm? Whose arm is it? It's yours. Well, who are you? You're a thetan. You're a being. Okay, and you can travel unhindered anywhere you please. Okay, instantly. Is what they believe, or you know, that's the bullshit they're telling you. So they call it exteriorizing, going exterior, and you're supposed to do that at will as an OT. I'm at a park by my house, DS. Amy, I'm sure you're absolutely right. But the point is, everybody inside the church knows she's not supposed to die of cancer. And the only answer you would ever get, word on the curb, because it would never be direct, and it would only be from that one person you could trust, well, she must have been PTS. So like I said, I'm all for whatever anyone does. And anything anyone does is, I'm sure, much better than doing nothing. But just so everyone understands where I'm coming from, and why I think that way. Okay? It doesn't mean it's right. And believe me, nothing would matter less to me than if I'm wrong on all counts of everything, and one lawsuit, and one, you child trafficking piece of shit makes that person come out and say, no, I'm not, and then they get in DOA's van and leave. I don't care. However something works, I'm happy as hell. I'm just letting you guys know where, you talk to 50 never-ends, you're going to get probably different answers than you are from people who were destroyed by the place, okay? You're just going to get a different answer. And like I said, I've seen what chaos does. If you're in that place for any length of time, you understand what chaos does. What it creates and what it fosters. Put it this way, no one has more reason to scream and shout and point and kick and yell than Serge and me and Lara and, Nora and everybody else. No one has more, I feel like I'm justified in coming completely unglued, maniacal style. I feel completely justified. So I don't do it simply because I know no one's going to come to me. And I know that because I wouldn't go to them. And I don't believe anyone would. Okay? And that doesn't mean they don't know we're good just because we're screaming and shouting if that's what we're doing. I'm not saying that someone can't read between the lines or figure it out or go, hey, I knew you guys were on the up, or it's all good. I get it. And don't forget, these people, what we're writing in chalk is only important because they're going to see it online. It ain't about the 15 people, on Sea Org members that see it every day. That's not what this is about. I keep saying this, everyone in the penitentiary has a phone now, and there's not supposed to be a single phone anywhere. So if you can get phones in Folsom, you don't think fucking Sea Org members can get it? I guarantee you they have fucking phones. If I had a shitload of money, I would literally send phones, the cheapest phone I could find that had internet access. I would be giving those out like hotcakes to Sea Org members. Hi, baby. Hi, baby boo. Hi, baby. Beautiful dogs. What kind are those called? Oh, I know the Doberman.
These are they're both mixes. They're mixed with a bunch of stuff, but they both have in common that they're Korean Jindos.
So cute.
But he's a Corgi and he's a Collie.
Oh, Corgi.
That's right.
So cute.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
They look like they're always smiling. But yeah, that's all I'm saying here is I'm not in any way making anyone, less or wrong for doing. I keep going out of my way to make goddamn sure everyone understands I'm all for whatever anyone does. Good. It's way better than doing nothing. I'm totally for it. But for those who want to see staff members run to us, which will absolutely cause the collapse of that place, that ain't gonna do it. But yeah, they're gonna see this online. They're gonna know. They're gonna know. That we care. And I think it's all going to go the way it's whatever's happening now is supposed to happen. I mean, this is I'm absolutely ecstatic that we have all these different personalities doing whatever they think is right, and their hearts are all in the right place, and I love them all. And no matter how well we do, we always got to keep in mind we can do better. We got to be humble about this shit. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. And again, like I said, I think love conquers all. I don't care how cliche that sounds. I I don't think there's anything more powerful than that on every level. So, you know, I want the people who hear this to know that I desperately appreciate and understand the position they're in. I'm so sorry that they got stuck in this shit. I know they're great people. They were willing to dedicate their life without a single penny in return to try to make people better and the world a better place. That's so next level. And I want them to know that I know that's who they are. You know, this scam doesn't diminish that at all. Okay, they just got trapped. I love Maddie, great to see you. What does it say? Drone and drop gazillion pieces of paper with SP found. I love that, yeah. That'd be great. That would be great. You know, so anyway, the more that we all talk about the fact that we appreciate, you know, that they're all just Natalie. Like I said, what in the hell is the difference between Aaron and Natalie and the people in that blue building? I'll tell you, absolutely nothing. They were both in that blue building. You know? And I know the facades because I carried it on for a long time. And when they come out and try to act unaffected or any of that stuff, it's just a facade. You know? Do any of those people look happy? Did you see that lady in San Francisco on Natalie's show? You know, come out of there. I mean, did she look happy to you? You know, do any of these people look happy? Okay, the one lady who talked to, was it Denver, dude? Or I don't know who that was. Chicago, maybe? And then she went to, and then her boss, you know, came out and just, you know, with his finger, come here, you know. You realize quickly you have no freedom. Does that make you happy? Of course not. These people are miserable. We hit the right button and they're going to come flying out of there. And I think love dissolves every damn thing. I agree with you, Linda. This is just going, you know, bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think, like I said, I think we're going to be successful if we don't scare the shit out of the people we're trying to save. That's all. And I understand everyone has different opinions and they're all perfectly valid. You know, I have agreed with probably 95% of things that Aaron has talked about or said. And then I saw him on one of those lives a couple days ago where he literally said he doesn't believe that we can get any of those people out of there. He doesn't believe the Sea York people, we can even reach them. They're too programmed. Okay, he's entitled to that opinion. You know, I think thankfully for those people, I don't believe that. I think we're all very, very similar when it comes to our needs. I think there's a line where all we really want or have to have in this world to have a smile on our face, you know, you got to have something in your belly and you got to have a safe place to lay your head, okay, and some respect. That's about it, man. You could make a wonderful world just starting there. And this isn't about being right or wrong. I don't think there really is one. I'm just saying there's certain things that, you know, you know, if we don't think about it, it won't change, you know. And no one wants to scream at people more than I do. Okay? But if I didn't think those people were worth saving, why the fuck am I here? Why am I doing this? Well, it's for people who you know, who are ready to come out, you know, and I just think that's a tiny percentage. It's so scary, and it's not something you just wake up on a Thursday and do. I think it's something that you plan the hell out of. And, you know, there's no way you're going to do it without looking into it. You know? And like I said, I never would have called the Aftermath Foundation if I found out Render was on the board. The hell no. So you're going to look into it. And if you look into the SPTV Foundation, you're going to see exactly what should be there, in my estimation. You know, so the truth's on our side. Everyone wants to be appreciated. Everyone wants to be acknowledged and feel they have some worth. You know, these people are controlled through fear and coercion and anxiety and fear of loss and everything else. And you literally start believing that you deserve all this garbage. You know, you're the reason why it's happening anyway. Right? I mean, he wasn't going into deep, thought or deep dives about what he was thinking, Treasure Rescue. He was just saying he thought they were too, programmed to come out. And he's entitled to that. You know? I just know I would run away from chaos and evil directly into the arms of caring, affection, love. Like, that's where I would run. Jen, how did you keep your capacity to love alive through it all? It was that little ray of hope. That tiniest piece of hope. And what is that hope attached to? The possibility of love. That you're worth it. That someone will see it and will be there for you. And the people who don't have that hope, we got to trigger it in them. It might take a while. But the people who still have that tiniest bit left, I think we can push the right buttons and we can trigger that exit. Hi, Susie. Thanks for being here. It's really weird because in the absolute absence of hope, 99% absence. What kept me from going crazy was just simply I would go from one thing to the next, but it was all still based on some hope, Like I believed, you know, that I could sort of mock it up in Scientology speak. You know, I could through my actions and my intention, you know, I could make these changes, you know. You know, when you're going to bed dreaming that you wake up in a normal family, I mean, what are you really doing? You're just hoping for something, right? You know, it's the bleakest place in the world. It's the mental Sahara, okay? Because they don't agree that there's any other, you know, there's no God. There's no, you know, Jesus was just a idiot, you know, buggerer of boys. Yada, yada, yada is what LRH says. So, but yet, did it stop me as a 9, 10-year-old from attempting to pray? You know? And then I thought, you know, God's probably mad at me. And I figured, you know, he wasn't going to help our family, but I still would pray. I didn't even know what God I was praying to. You know? The same way I told my sister moments before she passed that whatever was good in this universe was going to come get her. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just didn't want her to be scared. I mean, the power of hope is eternal. And it's all you got. And that's what kept me from, you know, taking myself out or you know, anything else during that time. So it's really important, you know. And I know what living like that is at your most vulnerable. And because of hope, I'm able to sit here and talk to you guys and believe that going through this shit is going to help somebody else. And I'm willing to take that beat. Yes, absolutely. Amy, absolutely. Oh yeah, and for all you guys that kept asking, I got in my description a buy me a coffee or whatever the hell that's called, and a Venmo, because no one seems to like PayPal or whatever. I don't know. This is all news to me. Like I said, my only presence in the history of the internet was MySpace. Thank you, Link. That means a lot to me. So, you are friends with Tom too? Is that is that the MySpace Tom?
How you doing, buddy?
Hi.
All right. How you doing?
Good. Thank you.
Nice day.
Yeah, it is. You guys went crazy because I had, I think I had 2,400 watch hours, and this morning I had like 2,700. So I don't know. You guys are, I don't know how you pulled that off. That was insane. I only need like 300 more watch hours where I can get, what is it called? Super chats or chatty chats or. And like joint, what is it, members or whatever. And I don't think that happens right away, but at least I can apply for it. And then I think it says something like it takes a few days to a month. I don't know. I think, YouTube has to review the account and make sure I'm not crazy or something. Well, if that's the case, I'm fucked, but you know what I mean. No. I was not a competing pro fighter, no. Oh yeah, Link, yeah, Tom. He was my first friend on MySpace. But yeah, 300 more watch hours, and yeah, that's amazing. I can't believe it. But like I said, I wish I had the money to give everyone who's ever come to my room here, a super chat, because you guys are. This has been extraordinarily difficult. But a real blessing. Tom then Zumper. Yeah, and so anyway, this is what I'm hoping, okay? And if I reach, it doesn't matter how many people you reach, it matters that you reach the right person. And all the work that you guys have done, supporting all the people busting their ass, led to me doing what I'm doing, right? And this is obviously really very, incredibly difficult, because my mind is blown when I see how few, born-ins and second gens and all that, and just ex-Scientos are involved in this. Like, it seems like there's 30, 40 never-ends to every one that was. And that's why this blessing is just so mind-boggling, I never thought that many people could be that amazing. And that gives me reason to hope, for all kinds of amazing shit. And like I say, I'm never sold on anything. I think you got to be fluid mentally, and you got to be humble, and you got to know it takes it's going to take this crazy stew that all of us make to do everything we're going to need to do. I just thought, I had to bring that up because I didn't think it was being addressed. And You know, I want people to believe. I can't protest with people who don't think the people they're protesting for are worth saving. I would want no part of that. You know. Thank you, Toucans. Cool dog. He's gonna catch up. Look at that guy. Big smile on his face. Hey, Smiley. Cute. And by the way, I've seen a bunch of squirrels around here, and it's just hard not to laugh. I can watch a squirrel all day now and just think it's funny. In fact, mentally, I just put different outfits on the squirrels. Like Saul's, police outfit. But anyway, like I say, this has been super healthy for me. So even if nothing became of this except I was able to, clear my head of some really vile and disgusting shit, which I've been able to do thanks to you guys, I'm already gold, So was there did anyone have any questions about the bullshit Dianetics that you want to ask, or going clear, or anything like that while I'm still here? Oh, thank you, Fluffer Squirrel. You're amazing. NYC squirrels are friendly, always looking for food, and the suburban squirrels want to rave for you. Amy, I did a test on the golf course once where I put a Dorito, a nacho cheese Dorito, threw that about 5 feet away on one side of a squirrel, and then the ranch Dorito, same thing, about 5 foot on the other side. And the squirrel went to the ranch Dorito, took a little sniff, dropped that son of a bitch, went over the nacho one and ate it. I thought that was really funny. Thank you so much for being here, Fluffer. And everyone, don't forget, go to SPTV.space and see the wonderful work that Fluffer's involved in there. And thank you to my mods so much. When I moved to Carlsbad, there's this seawall that has 1 million squirrels in it, right? And they're always trying to get them out of there because they have dug so many holes that the whole wall's going to collapse. And like squirrels literally eat anything. Like I couldn't buy a single thing from 7-Eleven that they wouldn't eat. They ate, cheese puffs, anything you could imagine, like every flavored sunflower seed. Anyway, after about 3-4 months, I finally found the one thing that they wouldn't. It was those curiously strong mints, the peppermint one. The dude took a bite and then just looked shocked and then started chucking dirt in his mouth. I'm like, I got you. But I loved feeding them marshmallows. You haven't lived till you see a squirrel smash a couple marshmallows in his face. It is so funny. I lived a block from the beach there for 8 years, Amy. It was that wall right there. Link, can you tell me what TR is when they yell, get your TRs in? That's like saying get your confront in, which, as you can see, in their world means hiding in a van to go 30 feet. But yeah, you're supposed to, TR means training routine. Okay? Training regimen, routine. And it's I go over those, in fact, in detail, each one of them. If you go back through my my translating hot garbage series here, which, by the way, once again, they're all like this. You're going to see no blue building on any of my translating ones. It's going to be anything but a Scientology building. Have you thought about what you would do if someone came out of the blue building and approached you to help them escape? Probably would not happen with all the cameras around. I would say, let's go. Let's go. Absolutely. Oh, I lived on Chestnut, Amy. Cool. You're welcome, Link. Yeah, that's just like saying get your confront in, you know. Like if you start, and it's so weird that Scientologists always say that, yet they're so guilty of always coming unhinged. I don't think any group in the history of the world comes unhinged more often than Scientologists, yet, you know, that's one of the most common sayings there ever was in Scientology. Oh, look at this beautiful doggy. Oh my God. Wow, are you gorgeous. Wowee. You're so pretty. Look at you. Wowee. You're amazing. What a gorgeous dog. I love that doggy. But yeah, we'll go through the levels next, and we'll just keep going. But I think realistically, from the very beginning, from the personality test to here, is all anyone needs to understand how people get caught in this and why they can't get out. Yeah, wasn't Lassie gorgeous? Oh my God. Right, Jen? Excellent dog watching. Bye, baby. Look at you, just walked right by me again. Oh, gorgeous. She's like a mini Lassie. What a cute butt. Boop, 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 boop. It's like she's got pajamas on. Pajama pants. Sure is nice talking to you guys here, though, versus over there. I'll tell you that. This is oh, it's great. See, I didn't think about that, Helen. That's genius. I should just go to some really nice places and chill, and then you can keep that rolling until I get my 3,000. That's funny. Oh, your pooch is so cute, Fluffer. Oh my God. Yeah, I agree, Toucans. Everyone's crazy. Oh, Jen, you're right on target. You should freak out when anyone takes any quiz. And again, just for those who don't know, the personality test is simply, it gives them the cheat code to your ruin. Okay? It's it basically just shows them what's really, you know, what your issue is, and so they can come at you with a course that probably is named exactly over, you know, what your issue is, and get you on board. Oh, I need 300 more watch hours. I was at 2,700. So when I get to 3, then I become like legitimate or something. I don't know. Yeah, I love, I don't know what it is, but I just trees and birds. And, you know, my favorite, you know, getaway is wine country. I mean, it just, how do you get better than that? I'm there all the time. Oh, Fluffer, I can't believe I missed that. I don't understand why I didn't get a. I'm subscribed to you. I'm so pissed. They do a lousy job of letting you know something's coming up. Because I have what do you call that? The bell or whatever. Like I have the notifications on, and I get very few notifications. I should be getting like 15 a day. I think I get probably 3. Actually, yeah, if you wanted links, if you wanted to, like, one of these translating deals I did in at Santa Monica Beach. One I did up in Griffith Park, observing the observatory. These are the kind of places I like to be, you know. Remember us little people. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm only what 248,000 away from catching AA run. Yeah, I'm not worried about getting big on anything. I mean, it's obviously it feels good to know, you know, the more people on here, the more people I can help, obviously. So yeah, that's a big deal. But beyond that, you know. Yeah, exactly. As long as it goes to watch hours, I'll play them for sure over and over. Yeah, as long as you like birds chirping, then this will be all right. And there's also trails. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Mindy, you know, go up Runyon Canyon and stuff. I used to live right there. But those trails go all the way to, you know, Woodland Hills. Like, there's a bunch of trails I like in Reseda that you could walk all the way to Runyon Canyon on, you know, and all the way, for that matter, to Malibu. But you know what? One of the most beautiful of all, I should actually go there. I just don't know if I would get any signal, but one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. And now's the time to go, actually. Shit. In Malibu, you'll see these just, oh my God, it's Malibu Park. Like, you can't see the ocean. You're you know, 4 or 5 miles inland. But you'll see sunflowers like you've never seen in your life, and daisies, and oh my God. And it's just so gorgeous. It's over where they filmed MASH, actually. And they still got a lot of the crap still there from when they filmed the show. But okay, I'm not going to keep you guys. You guys enjoy your Friday. I love all of you. Anything else for me before we wrap here? Okay. For some reason, this thing normally takes about 30 seconds and then it just spits out 6 or 7 comments real quick. So I'm going to give it another, just a couple seconds here. Oh, San Diego and Temecula. That's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. I love Temecula. Hotter than hell in the summer, but otherwise it's nice. Okay, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. I'll see what I can do if I can. I really love doing an early Saturday for all you wonderful people in Europe and stuff who somehow follow all of our madness at 3 in the morning or however you do it. And I appreciate you so much. I feel like I need to, I love having a stream that I know you guys can watch at like a regular hour. And have a wonderful day. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all, and you really make my day. Okay, everybody, love you. I will see you soon. Take care now.